Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a nice day. I am Orpandas, and I'm going to tell you something about the forming tools of SolidWorks. Now, before going through the whole video, I just want to give you a brief introduction about the what, why, and how of the video. Now, first of all, the what. What am I making? I need to know what am I designing first. Before that, we can go forward with it. Now, basically, I'm a student and I'm not an expert in SolidWorks. So, through the video, if anybody finds something which is wrong, please feel free to give your comments, which will be beneficial for me as well as others who are watching the video. So, being a student, I'm just learning SolidWorks on my own and referring a lot of YouTube videos and lectures by experts. And I believe that while making this thing, I had to refer a lot of videos, but I couldn't find some of my answers. So I thought of sharing this video as I believe somebody else might be beneficial, might be benefited by this video. So basically, that covers my why. Why am I making this video? And what am I making is this. This will be the final product. It's a element of a transformer radiator, which is of 228 millimeter width. There are other dimensions, but I'm just making the basic one, and that is the what. And how am I going to make it? I'm going to make it with the help of the form tools, which are given in SolidWorks, which is a part of SolidWorks. And right now, is follow my mouse. You can see what I'm going. If you just go to this design library, you will see the tools. Now, as I was telling about form tools, I just basically focus my attention on this form tools, and I'll focus my attention on embosses. Now, I'm not going to any other tools because I believe that rather than just going through each tool at a time, I will give you a process of how to make this whole design, and I think you will gain something out of it. So SolidWorks basically gives you these form tools for sheet metal operation. Now, tools, as an engineer might understand, uh, they used to these form tools basically they used to give a type of profile on a sheet metal. So SolidWorks gives you predefined tools like counter sink emboss, circular emboss, counter sink emboss, extrude hole, and these are specifically emboss tools. Now, why I concentrated on this emboss tool, because what I had to design was another emboss tool. It's not totally emboss tool, but maximum features, all the features, most of the features are of emboss type. So I'll just start with this. Now, I'm just going to make a sheet first, and then test out one of the tools to make you understand what actually this form tool does. I'm just going to lower down this. I'm going to open new part. Now, that was a design, and this is actually a radiator which I wanted to show all the viewers. Actually, what an element of radiator looks like. The whole radiator is a different area again, but I'm just going to make one of these elements, which is comprised of two formed sheets. So while I was here, I was just going to make a sheet metal now. Sorry. I'll first of all sketch a line. Though I need a 220 millimeter wide tool, I am taking a sheet of 300 millimeter wide and 1000 millimeter long sheet, and which is 1 millimeter depth thickness. Basic dimensions which I'm giving 300, and finally I'm making it into a sheet metal. As you can see, it's 1 millimeter thick I'm making it 1000 millimeters long. My element of the radiator will be approximately 700 millimeters long, but I'm just having some excess space to show you what I'm going to make. Now this becomes my sheet. Now I take one of the form tools which is already given by SolidWorks. It's a countersink emboss tool. I take this tool, drag it and onto the surface. Now you see the surface has a drawing on it, has a specific thing showing on it. Now it shows how the sheet will be after the tool is placed on the surface, or how the sheet is going to look like after we apply this tool on the sheet. That's what you need to understand first. Now as you can see, the contour of the sheet has changed on that portion and it has a counter emboss now. Similarly, my process of making the element will be the same. There may be other processes, but I chose this process because I thought this was the most time-saving process. So I just make another emboss on this. There's a dimple emboss. Very the contour is very fine, unlike the other one. Doesn't have that sharp edges. And I'm just going to roll back to my sheet. Now, as you can see, this tools have different colors. Now, why is that? That a question arises whenever I see this thing. Why does this have color while others? SolidWorks, yes, we can apply colors in SolidWorks, but why suddenly on a tool? So it's interesting. I'll just open the tool. You can right click and open the tool and see for yourself that there are specific colors. Well, this has a totally same color. Now let me go for this one. This is a red color and a yellow color. What is this? Now, if you just go to features, okay, you're not going to get the features because this is already a SolidWorks a tool given by SolidWorks. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open one of my tools which I had made. I made a front tool. Now you can see very well the property. This also has a blue color, a yellow color and a red color. And a red color on which is the inner surface of this type of half circle or a circular protrusion and other sides. If you just go beyond this thing, you will see it's totally normal. Now while I make this thing in SolidWorks, after I make this thing, I just have to click on sheet metal and forming tool and I get something of this. A stopping face and a faces to remove. Now SolidWorks totally visualizes the tool. SolidWorks analyzes how the tool will work by seeing the colors. Now stopping face means still how much the tool should go beyond the sheet metal. That's actually the simplest way of explaining it. And faces to remove is what faces I don't want on this contour. Now after this, if I didn't have these red faces, the sheet metal will be having this whole thing as the contour. But when I'm cutting these faces on these portions only, there will be no material. Now, if you want to see one, okay, fine, I will go just after this. Now, this is an insertion point which is newly added into the SolidWorks 113, where you can actually define a point which will be useful in locating or positioning your tool on the surface of the sheet metal. This wasn't there in 2012. They've included it and it's quite handy. You can keep it at the exact position, and since you can change it here, the referencing becomes much more easy. I'm going to close it and I'm going to cancel the save option, and I'm going to place this tool and see what happens. Now you can see that SolidWorks is realizing that where I have to start and where I have to stop. It actually takes the whole thing. Now when I apply this, when the profile is formed, you can see there are no surfaces on the red, there are no sheet metal on the red surfaces. The materials which were to be removed, and the circular portion, there is no material. So basically the color defines till how long the tool should go beyond the surface of the sheet metal and on which faces there shouldn't be any metal. These faces were not red colored, these were not to be removed, and so they are there. The other faces have. So now, after basic introduction about these tools, now basically all the tools work in this manner only. I'm just going to go to the tool, how to make your own tool, or a brief process of how I made my tool to process. Now, if you want to know why I made a total tool, a full tool, I could have made some separate tools, but I made a total tool to make the geometry at once. I faced some problems like the form tool overlapping error, which I'm very unsure about how to remove that and how to prevent that from happening. First of all, I had only this boundary as the tool, and wait, I'm going to show you in details. At first, what I tried to do is I tried to make this one tool and these two other tools to make the sheet, but there was a form tool error, overlapping error always showing in SolidWorks, for which I had to make whole thing into one. It might be because when you are using this one to form the metal, sheet metal, you are not allowed to use in this area in a pre-defined radii to use another tool. If anybody explains that, like I will be the most happiest person. I really don't know what makes that error happen. So what I did, I made the whole tool together, and since even the combine option or combine command in SolidWorks doesn't combine the whole thing, separated things into one, I had to make one common thing. I extruded one surface over it and made this whole thing into one tool, one object, and then I made it into a form tool. Now, how did I basically form the tool? It's basic operations. Make a block first. On the block, do your work. Like on the block, design the tool and make the tool, and lastly remove the block. This is actually the process. Two planes I had to make parallel to this surface to have this portion cut, extruded rather. This is just before the block is removed. I make another plane to make the side tools for the side formations in the tool. I mirrored it to save some time. These commands are always handy, and you should take for reducing the time consumption and increasing your efficiency. And finally, the whole thing, and I make it into a form tool by defining this face 1 as the stopping surface, and these surfaces at the removal, and insertion point I've given it at the end. Where is it? Yeah, this is it. This is the insertion point. When I place this tool on the sheet metal, I can use this point as a reference of where the tool should be sitting actually. The tool should be placed actually. This I will tell when I am actually forming the tool on the metal. So I'll just I'll not save this thing. I'll just move this. And one more thing, to make this end collar formation at the end, I couldn't use the same tool because this tool is actually making the profile downwards. It's making a deviation downwards, making a profile which is beneath the surface, and this collar is actually above the surface. So I had to use another tool to make this. Now I don't know how to combine these two, but if any expert in SolidWorks can help me out, it will be kind of you. So for that I went into a collar tool. I'll just go through how I made the tool. This is also according to dimension. Now this is actually how you can make your tool. This is also a good lesson which you can try to imbibe into yourself and use it when you're making a form tool. Simple steps: cut, extrude, fillet, command, so that I will get a smooth surface, and finally the cut, extrude command according to the dimensions given to you. Again a fillet, and finally I make it into a form tool. Now if you want to see, my green face is the stopping face. It's going from below to up. So this whole collar will be above the sheet metal. Hence below I've given the stopping face. Another face to remove is shown here. Now finally I've come to the position where I can actually place these two things. I'll just show how these are placed. I'll make one more sheet metal of the same dimensions, 300 by 1000. I just didn't. That will do now. Now it's more or less correct. Now I'll put down the tool totally over the surface and let you see what happens actually. You can see the whole sheet metal will become like this. This tool actually shows you how this preview, it gives you a slight preview of what tool will be like. Now you can see I've got the formation of my tool, and the extra part I can just cut it off. And if you want to make it precise, you can make it actual dimensions and place it over there. And if I just want to make the collar tool, make a collar on here, and now this goes up the surface as just what I require. This is the whole thing. Now I'll cancel this and I will go to the my already made transformer radiator element and steer you through the whole process of how I made it. I just placed it on the sheet metal as I showed you. Some small planes were made and the collar was placed exactly. Now this plane in this drawing was made to place the collar at the exact position. Now you can see how it is taking the form. Now I just have to mirror it to get it on the other side. I get it on this side. Yes, this form tools operations can be mirrored. Now I cut extrude to get the whole thing into shape. And this is after just deleting the parts which are excess. Now one half of the element is made. So one sheet formed into thing. Now I just make a plane. I'll show you the planes. I make a plane, this plane, touching the surface, the bottom surface of the sheet metal and mirror it to get the whole element. And finally, I remove the planes and to show you the whole thing product. Here goes a trimetric view. I finally came back to where I started. So this is a basic introduction about the form tools. Hopefully people can get to know something from it, specifically about the form tools. And since I'm learning, I will have my doubts and I'll clear them myself or from other help. And in the future in process, I'll be uploading some videos. Please, if you find it good, post comments and let me know what I have to change to make the video a better one. Thank you.